Hey y'all, welcome back to the self-love series. This is day 5. Today is a very special day. I love the topic that we're going to be talking about today, but just to give us a recap of what we've already talked about, day 1 was the intro. Day 2, we talked about what is self-love. Day 3, we talked about setting boundaries. Day 4, we talked about self-care practices. And today, day 5, we're going to be talking about positive self-talk. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so this self-love episode is about positive self-talk. As I said before, we've gotten this from ChatGPT. And how ChatGPT talks about positive self-talk is like this. Treating yourself with kindness, compassion, and challenging negative thoughts. And I really love this topic because it speaks to my positive thought series. And in that series, I was getting us to think about things in a more positive fashion. And this was actually one of the topics when we broke down how to think more positively and how to challenge those negative thoughts and some things that we could do and some steps we could do to be in a more positive mindset. And so this positive self-talk more so is focusing in on self-love because we want to make sure that whatever we say about ourselves is positive. Because if we say negative things, then that can harm our relationship with ourselves. That can harm that love we have for ourselves. And so I am very careful about what it is I say about myself. And if you believe in manifestations as well, then you'll know like you don't want to manifest something negative over your life. It's kind of like the one saying when it's like, oh, when it rains, it pours. If you're looking for bad things to happen, I feel like bad things are going to happen, right? So we can take that into this topic of positive self-talk. If we're talking negatively about ourselves, we're going to start to look at ourselves negatively and, again, damage that relationship that we have with ourselves. And so you have to make sure that you're speaking nothing but positivity over yourself and to yourself. One of the examples that I've given in my positive thought series was I used to say, oh, I'm so fat. And I was like, you know what? I want to stop saying that because it's like the brain will believe whatever you tell it. You know what I mean? Like it just really doesn't know the difference between what's true and what's not. So if you start saying that, then you'll start to believe that. And so when we talk about positive self-talk in correlation with self-love, we want to give ourselves as much love as possible. We want to give ourselves grace as well and just understand that it's okay, you know? And so I think this one can be a little challenging sometimes because you sometimes even might do something you'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. Like even saying something like that is kind of harming yourself because you don't want to talk about yourself in that light. Instead, we can change and say something else. So one of the things I started doing is that when I would think that negative thought, as ChatGPT said, I would challenge it. And I would just be like, you know what? If it came up, I'd be like, nope, not true. If I mess up on something, I'll be like, oh man, I messed up, but it's okay. Like, that's okay. And I make sure to reassure myself and give myself some grace because it is, again, okay to make a mistake. It's okay to, do something and not punish yourselves or be too harsh over yourself. And so another thing that I like to do with positive self-talk is just kind of give myself those positive affirmations. So, one of my favorite ones when I'm talking about myself is I am equipped to handle it. I know that God doesn't give me anything that I can't handle. So if I feel like I'm getting kind of overwhelmed or something, I'm like, I'm equipped to handle it. And I'm always quick to be able to just kind of push something positive into the scenario when it comes to myself. And so, as I always like to do, is just kind of ask you all, what areas do you feel like you could improve upon when it comes to this positive self-talk? Do you find yourself speaking negatively over yourself? And if you do, I want you to start thinking about how you can be more positive. And it's simple. It's either redirecting that negative thought, or it's as simple as changing that negative thought into something more positive, right? And we can do that with just about anything. And when we think about this positive self-talk, I want us to just be thinking about positivity in general in situations or scenarios that present themselves on a day-to-day basis. Some days, you might wake up and you might not feel your very best, but what you can do is start to speak positively over your day. It's going to be a great day. One of my other favorite sayings, I have so many, but it's a great day to be great. That's something that I always say, because it is. I'm happy for another day, and I'm thankful. I'm blessed. I'm overall just elated to be here, right? I'm excited to be here. When you set that tone for your day, it not only changes the day around you, but it also makes you feel different, right? And so ultimately, you set that tone, you say it's going to be a great day, then you're having a great day, you're speaking positively over yourself, and all in all, it contributes to a better relationship with yourself and your self-love. And so this one's pretty straightforward when we talk about positive self-talk. We just want to make sure we're doing that, and we're not allowing ourselves to speak anything negative over our lives. We want to speak nothing but positivity over our lives, because that's what it should be. It should be really pouring nothing but positivity into ourselves. And so positive self-talk goes such a long way. And the nicer and kinder you are to yourself, you give yourself grace, and you just ultimately start to have this better, improved view of life, and you start to just feel good. And you know what they say, when you feel good, you look good, and vice versa. When you look good, you feel good. So speak positively over yourselves. Make sure that anytime a thought arises that you don't like, you change it, you challenge it. And I actually have an episode in my positive thought series that kind of goes even deeper into challenging negative thoughts, that I definitely would recommend going back to watch if you haven't watched it. But yes, when we talk about self-love, we need to be on our P's and Q's, and we need to be able to love on ourselves extra hard and speak nothing but positivity over ourselves. And so that'll do it for this day. This is day 5. Wow, these days are just flying by. But yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow on day 6. And like, comment, share, subscribe. See y'all tomorrow. Bye.